What specific problem does your proposed method address in the context of interpreting reasoning traces of large language models? And why is this issue particularly significant?
The proposed method addresses the challenge of interpreting reasoning traces in large language models, LLMs, by focusing on identifying thought anchors, which are critical sentences that significantly influence the model's final output and subsequent reasoning steps. This issue is particularly significant because traditional interpretability methods often analyze models at a token level, which fails to capture the coherent, structured reasoning that occurs at the sentence level. By employing techniques such as counterfactual importance, attention aggregation, and attention suppression, our approach allows for a more nuanced understanding of how individual sentences contribute to the overall reasoning trajectory. This is crucial for debugging reasoning failures, enhancing model reliability, and ensuring the safety of LLMs, especially as their reasoning capabilities become more complex and impactful. Ultimately, our work lays the groundwork for more effective interpretability techniques that can better align model behavior with human expectations.
How does the proposed method work? Please illustrate the process step by step, detailing how you analyze the reasoning traces and the specific techniques you employ for identifying thought anchors.
The proposed method for analyzing reasoning traces involves three complementary techniques aimed at identifying thought anchors, critical reasoning steps that significantly influence the model's final output and subsequent sentences. First, the black box method measures counterfactual importance by resampling reasoning traces from the start of each sentence, allowing us to quantify how the inclusion or exclusion of a sentence affects the likelihood of the final answer and future sentences. Second, the white box method evaluates the importance of sentences based on attention patterns, identifying receiver heads that focus attention on specific past sentences, thus revealing which sentences are pivotal in guiding the reasoning process. Lastly, the attention suppression method measures the causal dependency between sentences by masking attention to a given sentence and observing the impact on subsequent sentences, allowing us to isolate direct effects and better understand the logical connections within the reasoning trace. By applying these techniques, we can effectively map the structure of reasoning traces, pinpointing sentences that serve as anchors and enhancing our understanding of the model's reasoning dynamics.
Can you provide a concrete example from your work to demonstrate how the method effectively identifies critical reasoning steps or thought anchors in a reasoning trace?
In our case study, we analyzed the reasoning trace for the problem of converting the BASE 16 number 66666-16 to BASE 2. Initially, the model proposed an incorrect answer of 20 bits based on a flawed understanding of leading zeros. However, sentence 13 marked a critical pivot where the model initiated computations to convert 66,666_16 to decimal, leading to the correct answer of 19 bits. Our resampling method revealed that the accuracy drastically increased after sentence 13, highlighting its role as a thought anchor that significantly influenced the final answer. This pivotal role would have been overlooked if we had only evaluated the model's performance through forced answering techniques, which failed to capture the importance of earlier reasoning steps.
What are the primary theoretical and practical benefits of using your method compared to existing interpretability approaches for large language models?
The primary theoretical benefit of our method lies in its focus on sentence-level structures within reasoning traces, which allows for a more nuanced understanding of how individual sentences function as thought anchors that significantly influence the model's final output and subsequent reasoning steps. This contrasts with existing interpretability approaches that often operate at a token level, potentially overlooking the coherent reasoning steps that sentences represent. Practically, our three complementary methods, black box counterfactual importance, white box attention aggregation, and attention suppression, provide a robust framework for identifying critical sentences and their causal relationships, enhancing the precision of debugging reasoning failures and improving model reliability. Additionally, our findings indicate that high-level organizational sentences, such as those involved in planning and uncertainty management, play a pivotal role in guiding the reasoning trajectory, which is often missed by traditional methods. Overall, our approach not only advances the interpretability of reasoning models, but also opens avenues for more effective safety evaluations and enhancements in model performance.
How did you validate the effectiveness of your method? Please describe the experimental design, datasets used, and the metrics you relied on for assessing performance.
To validate the effectiveness of our method, we employed a comprehensive experimental design using the DeepSeek R1 Distill Quen 14b model, specifically targeting the math dataset, which consists of 10 challenging mathematics questions. We generated reasoning traces for each problem, producing both correct and incorrect responses, resulting in a total of 20 responses with an average of 144. 2 sentences each. We utilized 3 complementary methods: a black box approach to measure counterfactual importance by resampling reasoning traces, a white box method to evaluate sentence importance based on attention patterns, and an attention suppression technique to assess causal dependencies between sentences. Performance was assessed using metrics such as KL divergence to quantify the impact of individual sentences on final answers and subsequent sentences, alongside correlations between the attention suppression matrix and the resampling-based importance matrix, which demonstrated a positive correlation in 19 out of 20 reasoning traces. This multifaceted approach provided robust evidence for the validity of our methods in analyzing and interpreting reasoning traces.
What limitations or drawbacks did you encounter while applying your proposed method? How do these limitations affect the applicability of your findings, and what improvements do you foresee in future iterations?
The limitations encountered while applying our proposed methods include the need for refinement in understanding how downstream sentences may be overdetermined by various trajectories in a reasoning trace or independent sufficient causes. Additionally, our analyses of receiver heads are confounded by the position of sentences within the reasoning trace, which may affect the interpretation of their importance. The attention suppression method is also limited, as it requires the model to process out-of-distribution information, potentially leading to inaccuracies. These limitations affect the applicability of our findings by introducing uncertainties in the causal relationships we aim to establish between sentences. Future iterations could improve upon these methods by incorporating more robust frameworks for error correction and refining the analysis of sentence positioning to better isolate the effects of individual sentences on the reasoning process.